So today, Tesla stock held up pretty well, especially when you compare it to the S&P 500, which closed down lower, especially when you compare the close of the previous trading session to today's close. It actually fell downwards while Tesla stock held up pretty well. And this is exactly in sync with what I talked about in previous videos about Tesla having a good November. And look guys, this is why I don't delete my videos. I think it's important to really have something on record and stand behind your words. I don't like those individuals who are very flip-floppy, right? They say one thing one day and then the next day it's completely different, right? They're saying one day, oh, it's a bombshell, and the next day, oh, it's a black swan. You want to stay away from individuals who are very flip-floppy. And so this is something I've been talking about. November was most likely going to be a good month for Tesla, especially as we have the Tesla Cybertruck date delivery event, which I mentioned in the past was most likely a buy the rumor, sell the news type of situation, which I talked about that in previous videos. But I want to set something clear, right? So yes, I'm bullish on Tesla in the long term. I have exposure to Tesla in my long-term portfolio, and I don't change that view at all, right? I believe that going into 2030, Tesla is going to be a great play. However, this doesn't change my overarching view that things in the economy are going to be challenging, especially as we go into 2024, right? Yeah, I'm bullish on Tesla, but that doesn't mean that Tesla isn't going to get impacted by the challenges in the economy. And I know a lot of individuals that get lied to or misled or just got steered away from the media. The mainstream media loves to kind of manipulate individuals, especially when you see headlines like this, where it says Black Friday shoppers spent a record of $9.8 billion in the United States and how online sales are up 7.5% from last year. And see guys, this is exactly what I mean about the mainstream media manipulating things. See, someone may see a headline like this and kind of think to themselves, maybe the economy is actually doing well. Maybe there's nothing to worry about. But here's the thing guys, of course, right, these numbers are going to go up, especially when you factor in inflation. Year over year inflation has went up over the last few years, so of course people are having to pay more for what they buy. And so what this article fails to talk about is the discrepancy between value, which is the dollar amount that you pay, and volume, which is the amount of product that you receive for the amount that you paid. You're getting much more or less now than what you did before. So of course that number is going up. And so if you read the headline, of course things sound great, things sound normal, but when you actually parse through the article, you see something that's a bit concerning. See, in the article down below, it says, according to the Adobe survey, $79 million of the sales came from consumers who opted for the buy now, pay later, which is up 47% from last year. And let me tell you guys something, buy now and pay later surging up is not a good indication of a strong economy. In fact, it tells you a complete opposite story. In fact, if individuals are resulting more into using these services, that means that they're not confident in being able to make ends meet and having to resort to using these services. Again, not a good sign. And look guys, I'm not against Black Friday. I had my own Black Friday sale for the Push and Profit private group, and after a few emails, I also opted into doing a Cyber Monday sale, which I wasn't planning on doing. But one of the things we have to understand is that it's kind of getting a bit ridiculous with these days. I mean, it started off with Black Friday. Now we have, Small Business Saturday, and then you got, Cyber Monday, and then next you're going to have Time to Buy Tuesday, and maybe in the future you're going to have, Watch the Price Go Down Wednesday, etc. I mean, again, I'm not against, deals, especially if you're getting a good value on a great product. But what we're seeing a lot of times is this kind of just a big money grab to kind of squeeze the pockets of consumers. And what we're seeing, especially online now that, things are more readily available, is that there's a lot of scamming going on where you see a lot of companies say that the prices are going down for Black Friday, we're having mega sales, but it's really the prices that they had just a few weeks ago. I mean, this is why I have a price tracker on my laptop, but of course, if you don't have that, just look online for yourself. You're gonna see this quite a few times. In fact, I saw this video online of someone showing how Target shared their Black Friday price, but beneath it was the original price they had from a few weeks ago. And so again, I'm not against these days, but as consumers, we definitely have to be a bit more savvy. And as someone who's trying to understand what's going on in the economy, again, we have to be a bit more savvy and read beyond the headlines, because God knows that these headlines tell a completely different story. But now, speaking about the Push and Profit private group, I want to highlight a trade idea I highlighted back in November 20th, where I said that another swing trade idea that I'm looking to is is gold. And of course, I talked about the reasoning why I'm looking into gold. And in fact, if we look at the chart here from when I called out that trade idea, gold has actually been a pretty solid trade. So if you guys want to have access to my daily briefings where every single day the market's open, I talk about what we should watch out for in the economy and what stocks we should probably keep an eye out for, then definitely check out that Cyber Monday sale. Again, it does expire pretty much midnight for tomorrow. But moving on, I want to talk about what are some things that we should pay attention to going with Tesla. Now, of course, looking into tomorrow, we have a bunch of data coming out. For example, at 10 a.m., we have the consumer confidence report coming out, followed by a bunch of speeches from members of the FOMC. And then, of course, Thursday is another big day as we have the personal consumption expenditure index report coming out, as well as it being the Cybertruck delivery day event. So those are two catalysts that we absolutely want to pay attention to. And then moving forward, the day after that, which is December 1st, we have Fed Chairman Jerome Powell speaking. And so we definitely have a lineup of catalyst events that could hugely pretty much influence the price action for Tesla. And so we're going to want to monitor the data that's going to be incoming. But of course, I also want to highlight this chart from the S&P 500, as this is something I've shared on YouTube publicly quite a few videos ago, where I talked about how SPY, or the S&P 500, is pretty much hitting this descending trend line. And right now it's honestly getting rejected. And so this is something that we want to pay attention to, because we want to know, is the Santa rally not coming, or is Santa going to bring us some good stock returns for December? Of course, we want to be mindful of the incoming data. Now, again, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you what's going to happen. So this is why I say we want to watch out for these catalyst events and be mindful of the overall market price action. But looking into the technicals of Tesla, we see that Tesla, if it does move up towards the end of November, it does meet this area where there's a lot of volume relative to price, and that could cause for an area of resistance, just like we saw Tesla get rejected exactly at that 247 and 74 cents area. And so that's something that we also want to be mindful of. But again, guys, as I always say, you should only trade or invest in whatever you see value in. You shouldn't follow whatever I say, whatever any fund manager like Gary Black or Kathy Wood or any other fund manager or any other individual on YouTube or X.com. Again, you should only do whatever you see value. I'm just here to kind of share my insight on what I'm seeing, again, with the economic data, what we're seeing with the headlines kind of spinning the story, and again, looking at the markets from a technical and fundamental perspective. But again, guys, as always, I am still bullish on Tesla in the long term, but I believe challenges are going to start bleeding in. But you guys let me know in the comment section down, down below, what are your thoughts for Tesla? I'm going to try to respond to everyone as much as I possibly can. And before you guys go, make sure to check out this next video right over here, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Take care, guys.